basically just harassed me. When I got they let me go the next day, but only after I had missed my first day of training. Like I was allowed to go on personal recognizance or whatever. And I had no place to live. I didn't know where I was going to live because I couldn't go back to that house. And I had been dumped off unexpectedly. I had been illegally locked out of Michael Holt's house, and the police were helping her with that. They didn't care if it was an illegal lockout. Michael Holt got a quote-unquote restraining order against me to prevent me from getting a 30-day notice and showing that she was breaking the law. And she got a restraining order against me by lying. The only way you can get a restraining order, like basically if you lock somebody out of their house, the only way to force them out and from challenging you and saying that what you did was illegal is for that landlord to say that you are a dangerous person and they need a restraining order against you because you're dangerous. And you've done something that could endanger their life if you are back in that house. So she filed a restraining order claiming that I held a knife against her. Michael Holt did. It was a flat-out lie. I mean, this woman, the last person that had said I held a knife against them was the Nigerian woman who worked for the CIA. And the next person who made a false claim about me holding a knife up to make me sound psychotic after I told my fiance I wanted him to leave. The next person to try to make me sound psychotic was Michael Holt. And she lied. So I basically couldn't go back there. I didn't have a place to stay. And I was trying to still get back to, basically I lost the job. And then when they gave me my evidence back, the police gave me my purse back. They had deleted all of the evidence off of my camera that proved the visitation monitor Sue had been lying about me in visitation notes. And it proved that my visits with my son were normal. they had to go into my video camera and specifically select different menu options and then delete it to remove the evidence from that camera. From that point on, I was basically forced into homeless shelters and to sleep outside in the streets. And the only reason that I was in that position is because the Seattle FBI and the police were constantly colluding against me to keep me out of work and out of financial stability and independence. They tortured my son, and they tortured me, and they decided that they were going to use my son for CIA programming and to continue torturing my son. They didn't want me to have my son back. And at that point, they were punishing me. Shannon Borg was punishing me, and for not getting back with Alvaro and for insulting him. And she was connected to the individual that picked me up to give me a ride and who ditched me, and the police had everything else set up. The entire quote-unquote grand auto theft idea was a lie. The entire thing was a fraudulent setup. They did this to me not just to put a black mark on my record or a bad mark on my record. I mean, they could have done that to me at any time. But they chose to do that to me, specifically on the night before I was going to be working. And they did that to me, I think, to make a point about how fun they thought it was to put me in jail the last time, the night before I was going to call a reporter and talk about the FBI. There was no randomness to it. It was planned. It was set up. The police could have supposedly had that woman come home at any time and claim that I'd stolen her car, and instead they waited until the day before I was going to be working.